Good morning and thank you for joining me for another video. Today I'm going to do something that I used to do quite often, and for whatever reason I haven't done it for a while. I'm going to hike at Brush Creek Canyon State Preserve outside of Arlington, Iowa. This is a relatively small area, a couple hundred acres I think, but it's got some very rugged trails, basic trails, unimproved trails. But it's a really neat place to visit. It should be particularly scenic this morning with what fall color we have remaining still visible. And it should be just a good day to go for a hike. So even though I've been here before and I've made videos of this place before, I'm going to give it another visit and take you along. So let's go for a hike here at Brush Creek Canyon State Preserve outside of Arlington, Iowa. The hike here at Brush Creek Canyon is unlike anywhere else that I find locally, unless you get off the beaten path with the rocks and the steep edges that you could fall off of. You just have to be careful, but it is so very pretty. Right away from the beginning of the hike, you start to notice the topography, the geology that I was mentioning. And to think this is just in Fayette County. It's not far away from many of us that regularly watch my videos. Not far off the road. Just very, very pretty. And I really like to come up here in the spring. The wildflower variety is amazing. There's so many different plants that grow here. The different ferns. And then of course the early spring flowers. This gets used, this little shelter. Obviously people have used it here, and there's ashes in the back in the fireplace. I have never seen anybody use it, but obviously they do. And now this is where I mentioned that the trail gets a little bit sketchy. You really want to watch your step. It's steep going down, and it's rough going up. My kind of a hike. I like a good challenge. With the leaves on the ground, it's really kind of difficult to find what little footpath there is. Hopefully, I won't have forgotten the general route since it's been a while since I've been here. But I do believe I'm in the right spot. Just take it slow. And what my plans are is to follow this over, and you go to what I would call like a little goat prairie. I don't know if that's exactly correct, but a little goat prairie that then takes you down to what I believe is Moyne Creek. I don't expect any water will be flowing there right now since it hasn't rained for a while. But when the water is flowing there, that is really pretty. So we shall see. Whoop. Just about went down. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Before I headed out this morning, I was doing some research on Brush Creek Canyon. And there's names for all this rocks. I believe Silurian, and there's some other ones. I just don't know my rocks like I should. So if you want to find out more details, look up Brush Creek Canyon on the internet, and there's plenty of people who have the scientific discussion on it. I think I'm actually on the trail that takes you down, and I need to go up. I need to be up on that ridge. So I'm going to hike a bit further and see if I can find that trail under the fallen leaves. And if not, I'll have to bushwhack to get up there. So I would like to take you down there to that Moyne Creek. Even though there's probably no water flowing, it's still worth seeing. I'm not finding the clear trail that takes me up and over the ridge, so I'm going to bushwhack. Isn't it interesting how this moss has grown along this log? And this moss here is actually seeding out. How long has this tree been down? Over the years, I've seen quite a number of bird species up here as well, especially the warblers. But today, since we're late in the season, I'm not even carrying my long lens along. And I may regret it, but I don't know. It's a lot of weight to carry on the off chance of finding a straggler migrant warbler species. Somewhere up here, there's what I call the upper trail. Just not finding it. That's okay, I'll keep bushwhacking. It's fun to explore. Look at these rock formations. What must have the earth looked like when all of this was formed? It's just so pretty, so impressive. This path that I'm on now appears familiar from previous visits. So that's a good thing. I'm not worried about getting lost, but I suppose the possibility exists. I think I'm up on top where I want to be. Now I just need to find the path. And if not, my memory will guide me, hopefully. Isn't this pretty? Just look at it. Again, good old Iowa. We've got a little bit of everything here in this state, other than the mountains and the ocean. But we've got what it takes to have a pretty hike. Brush Creek Canyon is a state preserve, so there should be no hunting out here. That makes this a nice escape when the hunting seasons are going full bore. And today is not one of those days. Just wanted to let people know, if you think you can come up here and go hunting, you cannot do it legally. There appears to be some semblance of a trail here. Either humans or deer have walked this. I believe this is the path, and I think this will soon be taking me to the ledge in what I would call like a little goat prairie, where you find prairie plants in the middle of a timbered environment. We shall soon see. I'm going to keep the camera recording. I'll do a little look around here. But I believe this is where we cross over Oh. Huh. Hopefully the camera picked that up. Yes, this is one of the spots where you cross from one section of trail kind of over to over the rocks and then to the next part where it's very dry in the summertime. And there used to be rappelling spikes where people would climb over the edges. Not sure why, but you know, people sometimes question what I do, so that's okay. But yeah, now we're hitting what I call the little goat prairie. Oh, there's a buck. Well, I hope he made it. He dropped over the edge. I'll check later. I hope he made it. I didn't mean to cause that. Here's one of those spikes marked with white tape. And you can see how you have to jump across this. Easily done for an adult. Not so sure a small kid could do it, but for an adult it works. I hope that buck is okay. I did not mean to scare him up like that. And then when you go over here to the edge, there used to be spikes here as well. Yeah, here's one. There's two here. One down there. And one over here. I just have no desire whatsoever to go over this edge. And I don't know if people still do or not. I have no idea. I have not seen anybody attempt it in years. But then I'm not here that often. The spikes sure don't appear to be well used anymore. Now looking over here, we've got another jump here. I'm not sure how far down this one goes. But that would be Moyne Creek down below. I think it's Moyne Creek. And somewhere down there should be a white-tailed buck that got scared. How pretty is this? All right, let's work our way back and head down the rocks to Moyne Creek. Take a look at this first. Wow. Before I go down to Moyne Creek, I'm just enjoying this look, this view. Isn't this pretty? Wow. The idea of backtracking to head down to Moyne Creek. Oh, the deer didn't survive. Oh no. It jumped over the edge, died. I'm not opposed to deer hunting. I'm not opposed to any hunting. In fact, I'm a hunter ed instructor. But to have this happen is so very unexpected and very sad. That deer jumped over the edge there, and I don't know if it came down and hit that rock or what happened. but here it lays. I don't do these hikes expecting something like this. I expect it to be relaxing and uplifting, and this simply is not. I don't know what to think. I'm going to continue on with my hike. It just seems like such a waste. But there's nothing I can do here, so I'll keep going on my hike. The hike down to the stream that's probably dry is really quite challenging. So you want to take your time. And I'll admit, I wish I had a walking stick, and I might make a walking stick out of one of these branches on the ground. But it is challenging. And I've often thought if I was going to find a bobcat, this is where I'd find it. And I'd actually welcome finding a bobcat, as long as it's running away and we're not in a stand your ground situation. Folks, there's good news. That buck just got up, so he must have just got his bell rung. I'm glad I didn't go over and dig around on him. But he was up and he's walking around, and sadly, or strangely, he went back to the same spot where he jumped off of, so I'm not going to go check on him and cause him to fall again. Oh, I feel a whole lot better. Oh, thank goodness. I just can't believe it. I wish I'd had the camera recording. But I'm sure he's listening to me. But he got up and walked away right through there. I'll bet he's hurting. That buck is up there on top of that rocky outcropping. And I'll bet it's hurting. But it walked off on all four legs, no limping, so that's a good deal. I wish it hadn't gone back up there. If somebody else comes out here today, it'll fall off again. Usually when I'm out in a place like this, it just takes me away and I'm not thinking about much. But now I'm thinking, why on earth did that happen? My friends have said before that I'm kind of a poo magnet. They usually don't filter it, but I did. But I didn't realize that my poo magnetism would apply to the critters now too. But it sure changes my attitude on this hike. I'm willing to keep going. But I wish I could get a picture of that deer up and walking. I saw it. I know it happened. So I guess I'll leave it at that because I'm not going to risk it falling off again. We already know that it scares easy. It scares hard. Okay, as I approach the upper edges of the stream, as expected, there is no water flowing. It's dry as a bone. So rather than break my neck trying to get down, I'm going to take the easier path, if there is such a thing, and go down to where the Brush Creek is. At least I think it's called Brush Creek. But there's no point in me trying to scale that steep hill, steep edge just for photos of a stream that's not flowing. A number of years ago, I took a hard spill and was injured. I had to have surgery afterwards. broke a bunch of camera equipment. But when I first fell, I went down hard and I just laid there unconscious for a while, and I don't know how long before I eventually regained consciousness and got myself out of the predicament that I was in. I wonder if that's what happened to that deer that was right up there and jumped off the edge. And he's up there again somewhere, 'cause that's where he headed. I don't know if this camera will even do it justice, but look at the geology here. Wow, that's all I can say. And when water's flowing through there, it's just beautiful. But our lack of rain put an end to that for a while. I think I'm going to try a different path this time, one that I've not done before. Since the stream isn't worth climbing down to, I'm going to go up along the rocks and maybe around and down to the bigger stream proper that this Moyne Creek flows into. If I can get there. I don't know, it's pretty steep, pretty rough. And I could go back the way that I came, except I don't want to scare up a deer that's already recovering from getting his bell rung. So I'll let it be and go this way. Maybe I'll go this way. We'll see. But this is the terrain. I'm really not convinced I'm gonna make it around this, and I may end up having to go back the other way anyway, but I'll keep trying. I've got this tall friend. He's a pretty good guy. He wants everybody to believe he's a pretty tough guy, but he's really quite sensitive. Call him Buttercup. And it'd be nice to have a tall guy up ahead of me here, clearing the path and making this easier to get around. I'll have to bring him out here sometime. He's been wanting to go on another hike with me. So I wonder if I'm just at the base of where those rock climber guys go down. And if I am, how in the world do I get down further? Or do I have to walk all the way back? And I've got enough thorns in me now to need a blood transfusion. Look at that scenery. Okay, onward. I think this is where the climbers come down. Yes, I believe it is. And sure I'm glad I came down this way versus climbing or jumping. Very interesting. Down below is what I call Brush Creek, the Fayette County version of Brush Creek. I think there's another Brush Creek that's a trout stream that's stocked, but I believe this is Brush Creek Canyon, the Brush Creek Canyon, Brush Creek. It's pretty. I've seen trout fishermen down here, but I don't know if they've caught anything or if they're just fishing for the chubs, micro fishing for chubs, and what holdover stockfish might still be in there. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on that. But that is where the other stream that's not flowing at all right now, that stream dumps into this one to drain off this watershed. And it looks like I'm on either a game trail or a human trail that I haven't been on before, which is nice as long as I don't have to go over the edge. I'm not sure where it goes now. I don't really want to go through all them brambles, but this is pretty steep here, and I think I'll look at this. But I'm not going to look too hard. I can tell that's not the way to go. So I'll go this way. And that might have a path. I'm taking it nice and slow. A mountain goat, I am not. An old goat, possibly. But I am not a mountain goat, and I have to get up where the footing is a little bit more stable. This is way steep. And with the fallen leaves on it, you can't tell what you're stepping on next. So in the distance, you can see the hill. I'm gonna go up on top there somehow. Make my way. So here we go. I don't know, but I think I'm back to a spot where I might have some semi-stable footing to get around. I should mention that if you come up here to Brush Creek Canyon and you start hiking and you run into trouble, don't plan to call 911 because there's no cell service. Just a precaution. If my memory is correct, this will take me back to where I was hiking before when I got up on the upper portion before the great deer incident. And then I should be able to walk back following where I was. Well, video watchers, am I back on the right trail? Does it look like this will safely or relatively safely take me back? I think it will. Time will tell. I've made it safely back to the Jeep. I'm going to call this hike completed. Now, this may appear like this last segment of the video was a bit abrupt and like there's portions missing, and there are. As I was hiking out, I met a fellow who's a biologist doing a plant study. So he and I just walked through the woods coming back to the parking area and had a very nice conversation, and I'm glad I met him and got some questions answered and had a good discussion. This has been an interesting hike. What I thought was just going to be scenic became interesting, became sad when I thought the deer had died. The deer is alive and well and moving, at least as well as could be. It got up on all four and was moving. The creek, as I expected, was not flowing. That's the way it is when we don't have much rain. But I will come back again. I'll come back dozens of times probably before I can't hike anymore, just because this is such a pretty place. If you like these kind of videos, please share them with your friends and family. Click the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and I do thank you for watching. Oh, and if I got any decent pictures when I was shooting still photos, I'll put them at the end. But again, I do thank you for watching.